Welcome to Slay the Princess, a game where the goal is to, well, okay. You couldn't wait for me to finish the intro before you started doing some creepy shit? Yay, good for you. Alright, basically, I have never watched anybody play this game, and I haven't watched the trailers. I just know the concept that apparently it was popular. I always meant to play it, and then it just kind of got lost. Chapter 1.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
So this is the first chapter, the hero and the princess.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
That sounds bad. Oh. Oh, I have options. I have a lot of options. The end of the world? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
But how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
But killing a princess seems kinda bad though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Not wrong. Have you considered that maybe the only reason she is going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
Yeah?
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation.
Okay.
Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
That doesn't sound good.
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Look, I'll go to the cabin and I'll talk to her, and if she's as bad as you say, then maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
Why am I the person
being
being
sent? You make your way
sent?
up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Okay.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, hey, Cuddler.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Okay. I guess I'll
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Yeah. Oh, no, my mouse changed.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Oh, you're just saying that because you want me to kill her.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
She's the
Don't
only
let it
one
fool
down
you.
here.
It's all part of the manipulation.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
She sounds ominous.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
It really isn't. Put it down.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands
Sorry.
and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
Her eyes are massive.
We'll be fine.
She's chained
Don't know
up.
what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
There are people out there who think you're going to end. What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
There are people out there who think you're going to end the world. What have you to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
What?
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
You think? Were you not in the world before you came down here?
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Ah.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
No. No, I was hoping you would tell me.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
But an entire world is a big
At the
thing
end
to
of the
destroy.
day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
No, they did not.
That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
True.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
You're very annoyed about her being a monarch. How long have you been down here?
Too long.
How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade.
To pick the lock?
She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
What are you two thinking she's suggesting? I mean, a relationship? Are you coming on to me?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Let's get her out of here. So, examine the chains.
You have to be kidding me.
You're the one who's not giving me any
You
details.
walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Alright.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Yeah, I'm gonna... and if there isn't a key, do you have any ideas besides cutting you out of here?
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance.
That's not right. That's not right, girl.
If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free.
True. Being locked up in isolation is basically torture.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Try the door.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
No. You can't just keep... No. Let me out of here.
Shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Yeah, no, if you're gonna do it like this, I am not slaying the princess.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to.
Oh, shush.
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
Interesting that the narrator and the hero are voice acted by the same person.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Yeah.
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain.
Don't we want to like tourniquet her arm or something?
You cut into her flesh.
You can see the bone.
The blade is sharp and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Ma'am, you're bleeding. Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world.
Yeah, see, the narrator is...
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Look at my arm. What am I? I'm not human, that's for sure.
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Warner.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're
No.
doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Oh, chapter 2. The prisoner.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Okay.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
But I died. What am I doing here?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot
There were
harder
two
than you think
voices
to
now.
keep secrets from me.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
Yes.
The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess.
And now I got the voice of the skeptic.
You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all.
Oh.
Sure you are.
Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
I'm hoping time rewinded itself because the other option is bad.
If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died?
I don't know.
Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul.
Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are.
You're talking in circles.
No, I'm talking in facts.
Let's talk about the princess.
Just be quick about it.
Who locked her in the basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special.
Okay.
You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Yes, right. We're here because we're special.
Look, you're annoyed that you're here. I get it. I'm also annoyed that I'm here. But we're all in this together, and we're dealing with a bit of a ticking clock right now, so please just get to the cabin.
So, ticking clock. You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to trust me here.
You know, the only reason she was even able to kill me last time was because I let her. And all she did was slit my throat. How was she supposed to end the world?
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right?
What proof could you possibly ask for?
So many.
Literally anything.
Yes.
Fine. Check your pockets.
Oh? Check my pockets.
You put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words
the evidence written across the front. Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth."
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to? Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
That's all.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Okay. We should...
A warning before you go any further.
Okay.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink.
Did you just say wink out loud?
Well, we can't see him.
No, I didn't. Wink.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Proceed to the cabin.
The area of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison.
This is not the same place as before.
The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge.
There's also a mirror.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
He definitely did not. Does the mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should.
There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror.
Yeah.
There isn't.
I think you know what we have to do.
Why would you lie about that? What's the point?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? That you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
Does he not see the mirror? You know, this whole cabin is different than last time.
Very different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely.
Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
Uh-huh. I think there's definitely something like another world
So
situation
focus up.
going on.
Don't get distracted by minor details.
I mean, approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
And now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Maybe. Let's take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
I am curious what happens
The
if I
door to
kill
the
her.
basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps.
If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us?
I don't think so.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here.
Yeah.
Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
That was there last time too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Sit with her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Let's sit where
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
I've been here before. Am I the only one who remembers that?
Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
Oh?
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things.
It's complicated things how, exactly?
Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
Yeah.
A contingency for what?
Us not killing her?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles.
I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
That's pathetic.
Oh, don't be mean, skeptic.
I never said I wasn't.
Oh.
I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
Okay.
I won't.
Oh.
Fine, but you won't get another word from me on the matter.
Yeah, sure. We'll see about that.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
Oh, I'm not daydreaming. I'm having like an entire discussion with myself. What happened after I died last time?
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them. And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows?
It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
That other chain on the wall. Who is that for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on.
Oh no, thank you.
Maybe it'll fit.
No, thank you.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Yeah. You know what? Slay the princess.
I am not a damsel to be helplessly murdered.
As you move to strike the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly.
Drop it, or you die.
I thought this was going to be a safe move, but she's going to kill us again. Just listen to her, do what she says. How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you.
Yeah, stop
You
it.
steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you. But a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart.
Okay.
The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
Wait, what?
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
I don't like this. It was too easy.
Yeah.
It was not too easy, we almost died. That's right. This was an incredibly difficult task and you performed it admirably.
She won't help us even if it will doom us
Let's
both.
just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a reward. I'd appreciate a reward right about now.
You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises?
It's better to have a short attention span in a situation like this. There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone. And especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here.
Okay.
Fine. But if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
You know, Skeptis.
With your work done,
It's
you
kinda
remove
smart.
the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
Open the door and accept your reward.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
You don't have to act surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows.
But if everything's gone, Does that mean we're not gonna get our reward? This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it. Okay. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like hell it is.
Are we trapped here? You know, I was kind of hoping we get a better ending for saving the world.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No, this is the beginning of eternity. Your reward, like I just told you.
Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
What do you suggest then?
We still have a blade. Let's use it on ourselves and start over.
Good enough.
Suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself when you have an eternity of bliss right in front of you.
This bliss is miserable, my dude. Slay myself.
Goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
It's more of like this immortality sucks. I'm stuck in a cabin of one room with a basement with a dead princess in it.
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
Ah.
That's all we needed to hear.
You raise the blade, then drive it into your heart.
So, this saving the world is contingent on us being trapped here?
Collapse to the floor, everything goes dark, and you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Chapter 3. The Grey.
You're on a path in the woods. See, that wasn't so bad. And now we've got another chance to get to the bottom of things. Bit by bit, we're starting to unravel this place.
This isn't the woods.
So many more threads to pull once you stop feeling.
Oh, a new friend. Hello, Cold.
That's a little dark, buddy. You feeling okay? I'm feeling nothing. And I like that just fine.
Okay.
He's not wrong. Sentimentality won't help us here. We need scientific rigor.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2?
Yep.
It's our 3rd. What gave it away? Your open discussions. The last time we were here, you were in full-blown denial about the possibility of us restarting. What changed? Have you just been pretending to forget? I'm afraid not. Whatever other versions of me you've met in those other lifetimes were just that. Other versions of me. I just wish I'd been the first. So you knew how all this worked. Why didn't you ever tell us? We could have used it to our advantage. That's because there is no using it to your advantage. The more information you have, the harder it will be for you to succeed.
Okay.
It's not like it was that difficult to slay her last time. She may have put up a fight, but her flesh is still softer than our blade. And now she's dead, and I doubt she'll be able to do much of anything from the grave. You already slew her, and you survived.
Yes.
Yes. Then why, pray tell, are you here?
Because your reward sucked.
Oh, I know that one. We killed ourselves. Why? Because you thought trying to stuff us away in a corner for eternity was a suitable reward. Was it not? What better reward is there than eternal bliss? You should have been happy. We weren't. We were bored. You were bored. I was just unhappy. There were still answers that we needed to find. It was actually working. And you killed yourself. I can't believe it. You ruined everything. How does us dying ruin everything? What aren't you telling us? The world doesn't stay saved if you die.
Mm-hmm.
And if the world isn't saved, then that means she isn't dead.
Oh, now isn't that interesting? I assumed she'd just be a pile of old bones. But perhaps she's not. There's only one way to find out. We should go see her.
Yes. You know, we haven't talked enough about how different this place is. It wasn't different last time.
If this isn't the same path in the woods you're used to, that means that her influence is already spreading and you're running out of time.
Well, there are no woods.
Influence? What's that supposed to mean? It means exactly what I said. Don't overthink it, or you run the risk of making your task so much more difficult than it has to be. And what is that supposed to mean? Forget I said anything. I've probably already made things worse, and I need to stop talking about this now before I definitely make things worse.
Oh, come on, tell us your
It's too late on that.
Haven't we been through enough? Don't we deserve to know?
No. Is there a reason it would be raining?
If there is, it doesn't matter. If a bit of rain is the best her influence can conjure, then we have nothing to worry about. A drenched corpse is still a corpse.
What happens if we don't go to the cabin?
She'll find a way out eventually and the world will still end. The only way this resolves is if you find her and slay her before that happens. We already know he wants us to slay her. Anything he says is tainted by his motivations.
True.
Turn around and leave, go to the cabin. I'm fine with either. So long as we don't just do the same thing again. That would be boring.
You know what? I'm done with this. Bye.
Sure. We've already seen what happens if we slay her. We might as well explore our surroundings, get a lay of the land.
Let's see what we can find. It's bound to be more interesting than doing the same thing over again.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up at the cabin, but everything is getting fuzzy.
What's going on? Where are we?
What is...
I don't know. But it feels like home.
Why does that look like hair?
Did we do this? Is this the end of the world? Was there ever even a world to end?
The world around you is unbound, is physical matter replaced by textures, nothingness. It is quiet. There is a distant rumbling, a sound of many sounds, undulating pulse. Undulations pulse louder as something other comes close. Feelers probe across the fabric of reality. Extremities find you consciousness and wrap themselves around it. You are no longer alone. The resistance, finger drag paws across the glass surface of your soul. Frustration. This vessel is full of you. I need something empty. I need something empty I can crawl inside of. I need something shaped like me. This... Oh, let's embrace the thought. You have a story you need to finish. It is the only way for us to escape this place. Force pushing against your will. No, you cannot go back. Not there. This world is broken beyond repair. We must weave something new. There is only so much thread in this place. Do not waste it. Thread in this place. I am your only salvation.